Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ecosystem Aces. I'm Chip Rodgers, Chief Partner Officer at WorkSpan, and just coming off of a pretty amazing Catalyst event in Chicago. Had a chance to talk to a lot of partner leaders. It was all 700 people all in one place, so all partner leaders. So I'm excited to be joined today, Monday morning, by Manish Nair. Manish, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Chip. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, so you're welcome. And Manish is head of alliances and channels for SAS in the India ASEAN region. And Manish, I know you've been with SAS now almost 14 years. That's quite a nice run at SAS. Just a leader in data and analytics for many years. And your background previously, early on in your career, you were with IBM and with Tech Mahindra. And but let's focus on, we'll talk about SAS and partnerships and how you think about partnerships. But with that, welcome.
Thanks, Chip, and thanks for having me here. And it's been great. And just to briefly introduce myself, as you said, introduced me. I'm Manish Nair. I'm heading the channels partnership for SAS across India and ASEAN market. Been with SAS for 14 years, but it does not feel that old because it's been very exciting journey, and the partnerships which we manage within SAS, it's evolving. It's and the way the technology landscape today is, we see an evolution in every 2 to 3 years. Entire technology landscape changes drastically, and I think with SAS, within this 14 years of time span, has spent considerable amount of time in building and scaling these partnerships. So, um, uh, to share a brief about how the partnerships we work within SAS, we have a very strong focus around how to build a strong indirect go-to-market model. And with that, we have a partnership focused around three prime pillars. The one pillar being global system integrators, which is primarily the advisory consulting partners who are working with the CXOs of various industries, driving the digital transformation journeys for the customer. So
Mm-hmm.
we work with the digital advisory firms and the consulting organizations, helping them to solve the complex customer business problems supported by SaaS leading data and AI technology. That's the primary one of the primary pillars we have from a partnership standpoint.
Sure.
And then comes the reseller and the channel partners, which are the niche partners who are having specific local domain, industry domain, local market coverage. So we
Mm-hmm.
work with them in developing those go-to-market strategies to drive indirect go-to-market model, and this provide us more local coverage. These are system integrators who work on SaaS platform and business solutions to drive business value to the end customer. And the third pillar comes is in terms of the technology partnerships. And see, end of the day, we are a technology provider, and it's the ecosystem of technologies that helps us in driving the end customer value. And that's where the technology partnerships come in place. And we work
Mm-hmm.
with most of the technology vendors, whether it's cloud partners like AWS, Azure, GCP. We work with them. We have close integrations with them to deliver customer value. We work with the infrastructure vendors like Intel, and our solutions are optimized to work on Intel hardware to provide scalable and high performance to the end customer. And then we have technology partners like Red Hat, Single Store, to provide an end-to-end solution for our customers. The intent, end of the day, is to support our customers in solving their most complex business problem. Now, if I look at customers, the way I simply put what SaaS do, we provide we support customers in providing data to intelligence journey. So end of the day, customers have a variety and volume of data, and we provide solutions to customers to provide intelligence out of that data. So we have been doing this, and just to share, we have been as SAS as an organization. We call internally we are a 50-year-old startup. Yeah, so it's a 5-decade old company, and in this 5 decades, we have been only doing data and AI. While it has been a buzzword in the last decade, but we have been doing this on the last 50 years. So we call it as we are a 50-year-old startup. Reason being, there's a lot of innovation, a lot of work happening in this space, and you hear in every 6 months there's a new offering, there's a new technology innovation. As
Hmm.
you have heard about Gen AI, right? There's a huge hype around that. So I think that keeps us on our toes, and that's make us better to see how we can solve customers' most complex problems.
I love that 50-year old startup, and
Yeah.
it's a good way to think about because there has been so much innovation in especially around AI, Gen AI, and all those technologies, and that's been SAS's bread and butter. And
Yeah.
so to really stay ahead and make sure that your customers are ahead, I'm sure that's a part of your, both in terms of technology and then just brand presence and all that, to continue to stay top of mind with your customers and prospects.
Yes. Perfectly put, Chip. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the technology side, how do you, well, actually, let's focus on the GSIs first. I think that's really interesting because that's sort of a primary go to market, and I know SAS has so many different kinds of solutions in different industries, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically it's a blank sheet of paper or a blank canvas to go build analytics on. And how does that work with your GSIs, where you're delivering certain kinds of solutions or industry specific solutions? How are you working? Are you working with certain GSIs or certain SIs for certain applications and industries, or how does that all work?
Sure. It's a great question, Chip. And so if I look at SaaS in a simplistic terms, we do have platform, which is primarily divided into three core areas, which is data management offering, advanced analytics offering, and then the third part comes on the visualization, which is more towards how end users can consume data in a more visually appealing format. Now, while platform becomes the core, we do have industry offerings. So the if we talk about a banking and financial industry, we do have fraud analytics offering, which is around the anti-money laundering or a fraud minimization offerings for the banking and financial customers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have risk regulatory offerings. So if you talk about Basel III compliance, so there are a lot of regulatory compliance which banks and financial institutions need to adhere to. So we do provide those regulatory offerings as well. Similarly, in public sector, which is government, we do have offerings around how to minimize waste, how to reduce fraud, and also around analytics for specific customers for solving their business problems. So, and similarly, if I look at manufacturing, where the core operations around supply chain management, whether there is we have analytics offering to predict demand, supply chain demand offerings, inventory management offerings. So we do have those offerings relevant to the industries.
Mm.
Now, when I look at these offerings, these are technology offerings, and with a strong industry IPs built in. Now, when we work with our global system integrators or system integrators, these partners make these offerings. They bring these offerings into life because they are the ones who are working with the end customers, and they have the access to the CXOs within the customers, and they are helping the customers in driving the overall digital transformation journey, where analytics, AI becomes a part of that journey. And this
Mm.
is where they are close to the customer requirement. They understand the overall vision of the customer, And this is where they are able to visualize how our offering, SaaS offering, can help the customer in the overall journey. So we are part of the puzzle, and this is where the partners can come in and help the customers to solve their complex business problems, which include analytics. And this requires a lot of customer understanding of their processes, industry domain, and with these partners we have that intelligence coming in. So the platform, the partners helps in bridging this gap by bringing their manpower, who have strong domain and industry capabilities, to work on the solution and provide those outcomes to the end customer. So that's where we work with a majority of the global system integrators.
Hmm.
Some of our key system integrators include Accenture, KPMG, EY, Deloitte, and each of these GSIs bring their own industry skills. And the way we engage with them, Chip, would be we identify the market. So if I look at my patch, if India and ASEAN, we look at the go-to market with specific GSIs who have their similar aspirations in growing in that industry, in that particular set of accounts which we are targeting. And then we work with them in terms of building a cohesive plan to cater to those customer and business problems to meet those challenges. So I think the GSIs provide those advisory and domain skills, which helps our software to deliver to the customer challenges and problems which the customers are foreseeing.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. And I wonder if they provide, in addition to the domain expertise that their practitioners have. I wonder if they also are developing templates or platforms or capabilities on top of the reusable capabilities on top of the SaaS platform that they can apply to others in that industry. Is that something that you see in a dynamic happening as well?
No, absolutely. So there are vertical problems which are industry, and there are horizontal problems. So a fraud in banking may be different from a fraud in government or in manufacturing, but at end of the day, the platform capabilities remains largely same, and that's where we can work with these partners who can develop those capabilities for industry solutions. And some of these business cases can be replicated across industries. Some of the challenges. So,
Mm.
so for example, in public sector, in government, and in manufacturing, there is a core business problem around procurement integrity, which is all around procurement fraud. Because if I look at public sector, manufacturing industries and utility industries, they do a lot of procurement of various goods and services in the market. And this is where they require a robust enterprise solution which can help them to minimize those fraud which happens during the procurement cycle. And this is where a partner can definitely work on a template, minimum viable product, the MVP, which
Hmm.
they can develop, and they can one cater to the particular industry of focus, and then they can replicate it to other industries. Definitely some level of customizations will be required which their practitioners can definitely fill across, but that will not be a grounds up development. And so Chip, one is definitely horizontal scaling, but what we look at also is how we can vertically scale. So we identify an industry, we identify a value proposition or a use case, and we identify a set of customers which we can target with those use case. And we look at delivering uh, to few initial target customers and deliver successfully and deliver on our promise, and then replicate that across the market. The intent is that we one work with a partner to have the larger market share in that use case, because we are developing an IP end of the day.
Hmm.
And that IP is largely owned by the partner because he is developing that IP on top of our platform. And we support the partner in terms of how they can monetize those IPs by doing joint marketing events, doing more evangelization of those offerings in the market, and scale that not only across in a particular market but also at a regional level in multiple countries.
That's interesting. Yeah. So they are, when they build those industry specific or horizontal solutions, like like procurement fraud and those kinds of things, or within specific applications within industries, it's IP that they own,
Yeah,
and then they can build their practice on that, and make sure that their people are staying busy, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's interesting. Then, are you seeing that there do you have certain partners that have those industries? Like, if you have a customer that's coming up, or a prospect that you're working on in a specific industry, do you sort of you have your teams know which partners have that expertise, and who they want to bring in?
Yes, what we do, Chip, we do have partner specialization programs.
Hmm.
We have partners who we identify for particular industry, and within the industry, for each of the value propositions or the use cases, we do have a program in terms of enabling those partners, skilling those partners, and the partners have various level of skills, and they can earn specialization on those skills. So there are partners who are specialized on fraud. There are partners who are specialized on risk. There are partners who are specialized on platform. So we do have those alignment in terms of industry, use case, which partners. So we have that alignment. But more importantly, what we do very proactively with partners is to sit with them. We do a lot of business planning in terms of identify the target market, and also look at which are the solution areas we will be focusing in those target market, and putting up a marketing plan to cover that market, so that we reach out to those select customers and position our offering jointly, so that we start creating those prospecting sales cycle, and we start generating those leads, and we support those leads through partners. If they require marketing support, we do provide marketing cover, and we help those partners to meet those end customer engagements. Uh, and this enablement program is more of a regular program where partners do invest in learning SaaS technology and getting their consultants certified and specialized on SaaS offering. So as part of the business planning, we will have a visibility on which partners with whom we are committing on a particular market, and
Hmm.
within that market which industries, and within industries we go a bit granular in terms of identifying which set of accounts we'll be working together on which solution area. So that helps us and even the partner to get a visibility on their go to market, and also we can quantify and measure our investments in terms of what kind of a revenue we are looking from each other. So that's the kind of joint exercise we do with each of our focus partners. And this is evolving while in terms of because market requirements change, and that's where we have a feedback mechanism with partners who feed us in terms of seeing new market trends and new market requirements, and how we can work
Hmm.
together to meet those market requirements. And the good part about SaaS is we do have a platform offering where partners who believe that they can develop a new go-to-market offering, which is right now not available as a part of SaaS solution offering, they can
Nice.
build on SaaS platform and
Yeah.
then take it to the market as well.
Interesting. Yeah. And how, in that process, how much are you working with partners and sort of bringing some of that market intelligence, market knowledge, customer knowledge, use case needs, bringing that, having partners participate in the product in the SaaS product, with the SaaS product teams to bring some of that market intelligence back.
No, absolutely, Chip. What happens is, one, there is definitely a feedback mechanism. Second, a lot of input goes back to our product team, and because end of the day, it's partner who is delivering solutions to the end customer, and they are the point of truth for us in terms of
Mm.
how it is more aligned towards the customer requirement. So a lot of input and feedback goes back to us, and we have a very strong R&D across the key markets. We have an R&D in US, we have an R&D in India. This input goes back to the R&D, and we do evolve our offering. And SAS is one of the companies. If you look at, we have a maximum investment in our R&D in terms of bringing up new offerings and to be up to date as per the market requirement. So partner, and one of the programs which we have within SAS is also known as MASP, which is Managed Analytical Service Provider Program, where a partner, if they believe to meet a customer requirement, they can build a service offering on a SaaS platform. It can be a new use case which today we are not catering to. A partner can build that service offering on a SaaS platform and can monetize in the market as a service. So that flexibility is provided. So one is, we have a arm's length ammunition in terms of the offering we take to the market.
Mm.
Second, if there is a gap which a partner identifies, he can definitely build on a platform, because platform is where we want partners also to innovate and build new offerings which they can take to the market.
That's fascinating. So and I think it's a unique position that SaaS is in, because you truly are a platform, right? You have to. Like I said it earlier, it's a blank sheet of paper, but it's right. If you just give SaaS, it's like you've got to you've got to bring data in, you've got to organize the data, and then you've got to build your analytical models on top of it. So all of that technology and IP needs to come together to ultimately deliver a
Yeah,
solution.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about shift a little bit and talk about some of the technology partners that you have as well. I think I know you have relationships with a lot of the data providers as well, like HP GreenLake and with Microsoft and AWS. How do those partnerships work, and sort of who takes the lead, and how do you bring a solution to market?
So if I look at Chip, as I mentioned earlier, we are part of the puzzle of a customer problem. And so if I look at customer today, they are looking at outcomes. Those outcomes require an ecosystem to play. And this ecosystem includes cloud partnerships, infrastructure vendors, and other technology partners. So SaaS, over a period of years, we have very strong partnerships. And these partnerships, which mean that we have tested our products on their platform, and there are strong integrations with their platform. Whether I talk about our cloud partnership, we have a very tight integrations with our cloud partners like Azure and AWS. Our solutions are actually meant to run natively on these cloud environments to
Hmm.
provide a seamless experience to the end customer. In today's time, if I look at the landscape of data and AI, all the solutions are natively have to be natively provided on these cloud environments, and need to provide the performance which is at par. And that's where one is a cloud part of it. We have very strong technology partnership with AWS and Azure and GCP as well, with whom we are evolving our go-to-market offering. Having said that, we also have very strong partnership with the data players like Snowflake. We are working with very closely with Red Hat, and we have a strong collaboration with Intel. Most of the SaaS solutions work on Intel hardware, and then that's where we provide the performance benefits. to the end customers,
Mm,
because the volume of data is growing within the organizations, and this humongous volume of data need to be analyzed,
right.
and so performance becomes a key aspect of it in terms of how fast we can process the data and provide the outcome to the end customer. So that's where we work with infrastructure vendors like Intel as well, and the ecosystem of partnership provides. So the way I look at it, we are looking customer as a point of truth, and looking at how we can provide a seamless experience to the end customer,
Mm,
rather than providing piecemeal that for customer to manage the cloud infrastructure and the analytics. We provide us end-to-end seamless integrated solution, and this can be supported by a partner. Because end of the day, it's a partner who will be delivering the solution to the end customer. So a partner can be a system integrator who can manage all the offerings and provide a single SLA to the customer.
that's terrific. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Well, Manish, this has been fantastic. Maybe before we, I have one last question before we end. I'm wondering
yeah.
if if you have and would have any advice to other partner leaders, or something that you've picked up along the way that you've been successful in your career managing partners. Anything that you would want to suggest or offer to other partner leaders that you'd want to share?
No, absolutely. Uh, I think partnership is a complex journey, but it's a very rewarding journey.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, partnerships, it's more of a give than a take. So the way, if you want to build a indirect go-to-market model and a strategy for a company, we need to look at internally in terms of what we are looking from these partners. What is the long term vision we are looking from these from a market, and align with the relevant partners, commit to these partners, and build trust. I think I have not seen any partnerships where there's a trust. We build a strong base for a strong business plan,
Hmm.
which take us to a more fruitful journey. So I think building trust with the right partners and who are aligned with our long-term vision helps us in taking this journey in a more fruitful manner. Chip.
That's fantastic. Trust is a recurring theme on this
Yeah, yeah,
podcast. So I think you're spot on. It's
yeah.
I worked for SAP for many years, and Bill McDermott used to say, trust is built in drops and lost in buckets.
No,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
well, Manish, thank you so much for sharing your time today, and it's been very insightful, hearing about SAS and how SAS is going to market with partners, and really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Chip. It was a pleasure being part of this call. Yeah.
Fantastic. And thank you all for joining another episode of Ecosystem Aces. And with that, we'll sign off and see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.